Okay, concept getters, we are back at it. I'm looking at this question, and the first thing that came to my mind was, do you even have a calculator, dude? And I'm like, oh man, I don't have a calculator with me. But remember, the most important thing is the concept. That's why you are concept getters. You get the concept, right? So the question is, remember, I'm continuing from the previous video where I was just summarizing the whole thing of using the timeline. Now I want us to apply it, okay? So the question is, Concodi opened a savings account with the bank and decided to invest 300,000 Rand for 30 years. So if they said the whole duration is 30 years, I'm going to say, oh, my T0 is right there at the beginning, obviously. And then the last T will be T30. So I'm going to write 30 here. Okay, so now they said the bank offers an interest of 12% per annum compounded monthly. M equals to 12, right? So it's 12% for the first 12 years. And then they said it changes to 13% per annum compounded quarterly. Oh, quarterly, M equals to 4, right? For the remaining duration. And they said he withdrew 45,000 Rand after 7 years. So withdrawal, what happens? You subtract, right? After 7 years, which means at T7, you're going to have a subtraction of 45,000 Rand of opening the account, and deposited 60,000 Rand after 16 years of opening the account, which means you're going to say from T0 to T16, this person deposited. To deposit is to add into the account at T16. Now notice there are 3 changes here. The first change is at T7, 7 years, and the other one is 12 years, T12, and then 16, T16. So which means my first T will be my T7. So T7, and I have T12 here, and I have T16. 16. Clear, right? So then the last one is 30. What happens at T7? There was a withdrawal. Remember here, there was a withdrawal at T7. Subtracting 45,000 Rand, right? And at T12, what happened? Oh, for the first 12 years, the interest was 12% per annum compounded monthly, and it changed to 13% per annum compounded quarterly, which means I'm just going to say from T0 to T12, right? There was an interest, which means we used what? We used 12% per annum, and M was 12. And then for the remaining whole period, we have what? We have 13% per annum, and M equals to 4. It was compounded quarterly. So there's another change at T16. Oh, T16, I see. That's where the person deposited 60,000 Rand, which means I'm going to add, which means I'm going to go straight to T16 and say, I'm going to add 60,000 Rand. Makes sense? And now the big question is, how much did this person invest initially at T0? This person invested this initially, right? So I'm going to write it at T0. The initial investment is at T0. So I'm going to write 300,000 Rand. So now I can see. Now I'm going to use maybe red. I can use red and show you where the changes occurred. We start at T0 and said the first change happened at T7. So I'm going to go here and make my first calculation. Then subtract 45,000 Rand from the answer and again grow again. Remember, when I'm moving in this direction, I'm growing my money, right? Using compound formula. So then I'm going to say from T7, after subtracting 45,000, I'm going to move from T7 to T12 so that I can change my interest from 12% to 13%, from using compounded monthly to using compounded quarterly. Then after changing the interest, I'm going to grow my money again from T12 to T16. Then I'm going to go to here. Then after growing my money from T12 to T16, I'm going to add 60,000 Rand. Then after adding 60,000 Rand, I'm going to add my money again from T16 to T30. Then I'm going to be done. So that's what I'm going to write, okay? I'm going to say, remember, it's a growth formula. So I'm going to say A equal to P into 1 plus I over M to the exponent N multiplied by M, where I is the interest. Obviously, the rate that they gave you in the question, you'll divide it by 100, right? And the M is the compounding period, meaning if it is compounded monthly, M is going to be 12. And if it's compounded quarterly, M will be 4. Compounded semi-annually, M will be 2. Compounded daily, M will be 365. Compounded weekly, M will be 52. Just like that. Okay. Then now we have A equals to P into 1 plus I over M, all to the exponent N times M. We got that part. Remember, I'm going to start with this here. I'm going to have to grow it to T7, meaning it's going to be a period of 7 years. My N will be 7, right? And I'm still within this compounding period. Okay, so I'm gonna say, so I'm gonna divide. I'm gonna do something like this and maybe something like this. So I'm gonna move down and then up to here and then up to here if we have a lot, right? So I'm gonna say A is equals to my principal value or my initial value will be 300,000 rand into 1 plus. My I will be 12 over 100, which is 0.12 over. M will be 12 because of compounding period, then to the exponent. Then because from T0 to T7, it's 7 years, my N will be 7, right? Then I'll multiply it by M will be 12. Then you can punch it in your calculator and find a particular answer, right? So after pressing your calculator, you're going to realize that the answer is 692,016,82 rounded off. Remember to save your answer in your calculator so that when you substitute it in the next step, you substitute the answer saved in your calculator, okay? Then, now that you have 692,016 rand 82 cents, this is the money that you have here, basically here at T7 before you withdraw 45,000 rand. Now I'm going to subtract it. Remember, I said you grow, then you make the change. You grow, then you make the change, just like that, okay? We've grown our money from T0 to T7. Now I have to subtract 45,000 rand. So I'll just say, oh, my new P will be 692,016,82 minus 45,000 rand. Then which is going to be my new principal value for the next growth. Okay, so when I subtract 45,000 rand, what am I going to get? You're going to punch it in your calculator and you're going to have 647,016,82. That's going to be your answer for T7 to be grown. Now we're going to move to the next growth. Now we're going to move to here. After making the impact here, we're going to say now let's grow it from T7 to T12. Why are we growing it from T7 to T12? Because we are still using this interest rate here and the compounding period, and we are growing it to T12 so that we can make the change of this to this. And it changes where? At T12. So now, how many years will my growth happen? For how many years? It's going to happen for how many years? 12 minus 7 years. 12 minus 7 is 5, which means this period here is 5 years, right? Then I'm going to say, oh, now I'm going to grow this amount of money for 5 years using the old compound interest and compounding period. So I'm going to say my new A will be the current P, which is 647,016,82, right, into 1 plus. My I is 0.12 over 12 to the exponent 5 years times 12. Makes sense? Then I'm going to say equal to, I'll punch this one in my calculator again. Okay? After punching it in your calculator, what are you going to get? 117,543,32. That's how much money you're going to have here. Okay? That's how much money you're going to have after 12 years. Do that make sense? So now this money is the one that you're going to have to grow again. You're going to grow it to T16. Makes sense. Why are we growing it to T16 this time around? Because we want to know how much did this money that we just got now, how much did it get or how much did it grow to before you added 60,000 Rand? So from T12 to T16, it was how many years? 4 years. 16 minus 12, okay? Then you're going to be like, oh, now should I grow it for 4 years before I can add 60,000? Of course you should. But now this time around, remember, you are in here. Here is here, meaning you're going to be using this interest and this compounding period. Do that make sense? So I'm going to say, oh, which means this is basically my new P, and I will need to get another new P. Do that make sense? So I'm going to say, oh, my A will be 117,5433,32 into 1 plus what? 1 plus 0,13 over 4 this time around, okay? To the exponent from T12 to T16, the exponent will be 4 because from T12 to T16, it's 4 years. So I'm going to say my N is 4 and I will multiply by my M. My M will be this one times 4. Then I'll punch this again in my calculator to get how much I will have here before I can add this. Do that make sense? So let's punch it in our calculator and see what we're going to get. Come on, please tell me that you got what I just got here. I got 1960825,58. Big numbers, eh? I wish you also gonna get this money for being this hardworking student currently watching math videos when others are partying, you know. So I wish you're gonna get this money in the future, guys. But anyway, you have 1960825,58. That's how much you're gonna have at T16 before you can deposit 60,000 Rand. Doesn't make sense? So now let's see now. Remember, after 16 years, you will go to the bank and deposit 60,000, meaning you're gonna add 60,000 Rand into whatever that you're gonna find in your bank account. And this is how much you found in your bank account. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna add 60,000 Rand. So you're gonna say, oh, my new P will be equal to 1960825,58 plus 60,000 Rand. And then my new P will be the answer to that. What's gonna be the answer? The answer will be 2,020,825 Rand 58 cent. Whoa. This person is swimming in money, hey? But anyway, so we have T16 now, which means after having added this, we're going to now grow the balance to T30 because nothing was happening here. But remember, which interest are we using? Still here, and we're still here. So we're going to add now. We're going to be like, oh, now this is our new P, right? Let's go and grow our money. Let's grow our money. So now our A will be our new P, which is 2,020,825,58, right? Into 1 plus 0,13 over 4 to the exponent between T30 and T16. How many years do we have here? You just say 30 minus 16. You're going to have 14. Then 14 years multiplied by 4. So you're going to say 4 multiplied by 14. Or you can say 14 multiplied by 4. Then you're going to get the final answer. Let's write the final answer in red, guys. It's going to be here. That's going to be our final answer here. Okay, so you can punch that on your calculator and find the answer. Pause the video and check if you're going to get the answer that I'm going to get. All right, so let's see. This is a big number, yo. Okay, let's see. So this person got, guess what? 12,116,361 Rand 12 cents. Yeah, this person won. So let's write it. It's going to be 12,116,361 Rand 12 cents. Yippee! This is what this person got. He's smiling. Ah, man, Konkodi. You did very well. You did very well. Oh, Concordi is basically Mr. Sir. Yo, yo, yo.